Welcome back to Driveway Garage. I'm working on my 99 Mercedes ML320. I bought it yesterday and I'm just doing some maintenance work on it. And when I first looked at it, the check engine light was on. I cleared the codes for that. It was a misfire on number 6 cylinder. It hasn't come back, so I don't know what caused it. If it comes back, I'll have to try to chase it down. And I'm also going to start checking spark plugs after a while, see if there's any reason why it would misfire. But right now I'm working on the air conditioner. So let me flip this around and show you what I've done so far. So on the passenger side up by the firewall, I found the low pressure valve. I hooked up to that and there's not much pressure. And I looked around, and it was a heck of a time trying to find the high pressure one. I mean, I was looking back over there, I traced the lines, I looked back there. I looked down here by the power steering pump, and I got to looking up here by the condenser, and I finally found it. It's right there. It just sticks out from the side where the radiator is. And it's got a black cap, of course, so it's hard to find, but I found it. Hooked up to that, and the compressor will turn on for just a minute, but it won't stay on. And this is the fuse panel over here, and I took it off and I checked this relay. This is the fuse number 30 right beside it that goes to the AC fans, and it was good. I took out this relay, and I have a box of relays here that have on-off switches. No, that's not the right one. This one. So I stuck this one in there. It's got an on-off switch on it. And when I turned it on, the fans would come on. So I knew the fans worked. And when you first start the vehicle, turn on the AC. Let's get this down here where you can see it. There's the AC compressor. And when you first start it, it kicks in, but after a minute it shuts off. And it always blows warm air. And there's a common problem with these of having a bad actuator valve behind the glove box, and it doesn't turn, so you always blow warm air. But I don't think that's the problem because my air compressor's not staying on. So the only thing I could figure is low on Freon, because it just doesn't have much pressure. But when I was looking for my phone, let me get you guys down here on the ground. I was under here trying to see if I could find my phone up in the frame. And see if you guys can see all this mess. It looks like that's probably oil from the what do they call that? Compressor. So I have a feeling the compressor's leaking. So even if I recharge it, it's probably going to be a short-lived fix, if it even fixes it. But I'm trying to decide if I want to put some Freon in it and take my chances on seeing if it works or not. But I have a feeling it won't be long before I lose my Freon, and it's probably just holding atmospheric pressure right now. As soon as it starts cranking up some high pressure, it'll probably leak. So I've watched videos. Some guys say you can just replace the compressor. And I say, let me get back up here. They say don't get a used one or a rebuilt one because they're kind of iffy. Get a new one. And other guys say, well, if you're going to replace the compressor, especially if it's a mechanical fail, you need to replace the condenser and the dryer, everything, because it could have metal fragments in there that'll mess up your brand new compressor and you'll be starting over again. This one doesn't seem to be a mechanical fail. It seems to be just a leak. So I'm going to do some research and see if there's a way I can take it out, rebuild it. Maybe it needs some new O-rings and it'll fix it. I'll have to do more research. I'm just not sure if I have to take more stuff off to get down there to the compressor, or if I can get it off from down below easy. So I'll do a part 2. I think I'd be wasting my money putting Freon in here. But if it worked for 5 minutes, I guess at least I would know the compressor was working. It's just leaking. If I decide to put some Freon in it, I did buy a can just in case. I'll do a part 2 of showing you that it works. In fact, maybe I'll just pause this and I'll put some Freon in it, see if it's going to work. If not, we'll do a part 2 of replacing the compressor or rebuilding it. So hang on, bear with me. Of course, it'll be instant for you guys. Well, guys, I'm back. I got the air conditioner to work. I could not get the can of Freon I bought, this one, to hook up to my hoses that are made for this, but I did buy one of these at some time in the past. Screws onto the can of Freon, and the blue part snaps on to the low pressure, which in this case is back there. Now, if you don't know the difference between the low pressure and the high pressure, the low pressure is a bigger tube, and they have different size connectors, so you can't get them mixed up. But a lot of times you have a canister up on top here someplace, and there's a high pressure line right there. In this case, down here by the headlight, it was kind of hidden, and has these caps that go on. And of course they're black, so you know, they're hard to find, but I guess the small one is the low pressure, and the big one, where's it at? Just screws onto there. Get it on there tight so it doesn't vibrate off. Oh shoot, where are we at? There we are. And that'll protect your Schrader valve, so I won't get a bunch of dirt in it. And this is the low pressure line. We'll put the cap back on it while I'm thinking of it. There, now it won't get dirty or damaged. And I'll start the car back up and let you see the compressor running. But I do have an unusual thing going on. Make sure your air conditioner controls are on high, because you want it blowing max cold to make sure it's working. Now, I might have to get the light again. Now you can see the front of the compressor's turning. That's pulled in there by a magnet, I guess, and so it's working now. I have cold air, but the thing I don't have, my fans aren't kicking in. And I took out the relay and I replaced it with one with the on-off switch. So when I turn that on, let's show you here. There's off. The fans turn off. When I turn it on, the fans turn on. So I'm not sure if I have a bad relay or maybe there's a bad sensor someplace, but the fans do work and the air conditioner works. And maybe these will just kick in when they need to come on through a thermocoupler or something. When it gets too hot, I'm not sure. Anyway, I now have air conditioner. I'll just have to keep my eye on it, see how long I have air conditioning. I'll take this back out because I don't want to leave that in there. My luck, I would forget it's in there. I'll put the old one back in. I guess I could let it idle for a little bit. See if those fans kick on. Now when you take your fuse box off, if you have to, there's a couple little tabs, one there and one there it fits into. And then, if you get that right, it just sits on there. Let me back this camera out a little bit. There. It just sits on there. Now originally there was a plastic clip there and a plastic clip there, but it's plastic, it breaks. But it's on there. Let me open this up, feel that air, see how it's feeling. Oh yeah, we got some nice cold air. I bought this vehicle with the intention of maybe keeping it if I can get rid of my pickup. There's my truck. I just painted the side of it and It didn't turn out perfect, but it's better than it was. And I have a Prius that I don't use much anymore, so I'd like to sell it. And then I think I would keep this because they run a long time. It has a good motor, good transmission, and it's in really nice shape. Anyway, back to the air conditioning. Let's see how long it lasts. I'll drive it around some and see if it lasts a couple days or if I fixed it. But I'm pretty sure that compressor is leaking. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take for it to leak out. I may get some soapy water, spray on there, and see if I can see any bubbles coming out. That'll give me a pretty good idea if it's leaking a lot. Thanks for watching. If you have to recharge your air conditioner, now you know how to do it. Some things you can check. I'm no expert, that's for sure. I guess you can also disconnect the wire that goes to the compressor, and you can wire it directly to see if it kicks in. If you can find the right relay or fuse, you can hit it directly and engage the compressor. But so far I haven't been able to find that relay. I'll have to look in the book some more, but I think they're all underneath the hood. Well, I'm going to sign off now. I got my oil changed. I made a video on that. The air conditioner's working. It's not misfiring. I am going to shut it off, let it cool off, and check the spark plugs, at least a few of them. This thing is a 6-cylinder, but it has 12 spark plugs, so depending on what spark plugs you buy, it could be another $100 to put new spark plugs in it. But if it's running good and the spark plugs look good, I'm not going to bother. I am going to order a cabin air filter, make a separate video on that. And while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to, oh, you can't see that. I'm going to check the air filter here because I just have no idea when it was last changed and how dirty it is. And I'll probably make a separate video on that just for the heck of it. Thanks again for watching.